Hey everybody, how's it going today? Happy Friday. Texas Redleg here. Hope everybody is getting prepared for this snow and ice event and certainly cold temperature event that's coming to pass this weekend and early next week for a lot of us, especially down here in Texas. Man, they're forecasting this thing to be a real whopper. Talking about possibly blizzard conditions, which I don't ever remember being in a blizzard here. Been here all my life, other than my stint in the military, but I certainly don't ever remember the temperature getting down at zero or -0. That's for damn sure. I've seen it maybe 10, low teens, but typically we don't, in my area in the northern part of the state, we don't typically see temperatures that low. So what I wanted to talk about today was power outages. A lot of the power is above ground, especially from the transmission stations, and then it goes out from there. And then some areas have below ground power, some are still above ground with the poles. But having the ability to heat your space, cook food, boil water, coffee, make soup, things like that, having light, and then being able to communicate during these types of events are huge. So those five events are sort of what I'm wanting to talk about today. And of course, a lot of people that live on the coast are used to hurricanes and such, so they probably are prepared for a lot of this stuff. But here in the northern part of the state, I mean, we don't really deal with much in the way of weather unless it's like a tornado or something like that, possibly a flood. We don't really get a lot of the winter stuff that looks like it's coming with a vengeance this weekend and early next week. So, being able to heat your space without electricity. Most of us have central heat and air. And if you have a fireplace, that's great. If you have a wood burning fireplace and you have wood, that's good too. I have a gas fireplace, so it is what it is. It works as long as you got gas. So hopefully that won't be a problem. But being able to have the fuel to run a little camping style heater or maybe a propane heater and blankets. These heavy blankets like these moving style blankets you can get from Harbor Freight. They're like $5 or $10 and they're huge. They can get king size, full size, and they're really good to. They're thick and they're good to like cover a window with if you've got maybe a leaky window or the wind is just so hard that it's pushing cold air through your home. You can use those blankets to sort of shield the interior space of the wind and also retain the heat from that little area, or that entire home. If it's really, really cold and you're having trouble keeping your house heated, your space heated, you may need to condense your area down to one room and just have everybody in that one room and keep it heated and try to limit the in and out so you can survive and keep the room or the space at a livable temperature. Also having the ability to cook food with a propane stove or a gas grill outside, something like that, a camping stove, man, make these little rocket stoves. There's all kinds of things that you need to be able to, cook with should the power go out. Of course, you don't have to cook if you've got things that you can eat that don't require cooking. That's great too. But having a cast iron skillet, something like that, to be able to cook meats in, or some type of dish, eggs, whatever. That's handy to have. And then another, thing is one of these percolator style coffee pots where you can boil water, make coffee, maybe do soup or something like that. Cooking food and being able to boil water or coffee, make coffee is huge. Also having light, there's all kinds of light sources. You got candles, you got flashlights, you got solar lights, you got just a plethora of technology and different types of lights, battery operated, rechargeable, all that jazz. I sort of opted to go towards the rechargeable stuff in my preps, just due to the fact of having to keep up with batteries and them going bad and not working. I just go with the USB charger style, and I can charge it from a vehicle. If the power's out of the house, I can start my vehicle and I can charge up all my stuff. and I also have a solar kit that I can charge those items off of as well. So a couple of different options there when it comes to the USB charging style things, especially lights. I would highly suggest people go to that style and get rid of the batteries altogether. The other area that is important during a disaster, of course, is communications. You know, do you have a cell phone? Do you have a charger for it? Is it charged? Or are you able to keep it charged? You know, again, using the USB in your vehicle. Hopefully your vehicle's full of fuel. If you've been listening, you know that you should be keeping that gas tank full. And this is one of the reasons why. I guarantee you the gas stations are going to be a damn mess today down here and probably throughout the weekend. It's just going to be a real mess. So having those fuel tanks full and then extra fuel in cans in the garage, if you so choose to, is just extra protection for you. But being able to charge those phones, having those chargers, do you have a CB radio? Are you a ham radio operator? Those are huge, huge ways of communication where you can get good intel and up-to-date information fast. And that's from people that are on the road and this and that. I actually have a portable CB. It's in a toolbox, a little plastic toolbox, mounted with a 12-volt car adapter where I can plug it in a cigarette lighter, and I also have an adapter where I can plug into the wall and use it from the house or wherever I'm at. And it's got a huge magnetic antenna. I can set it up wherever and get communications with it, whether in a vehicle down the road or stationary. So that's huge for me, and that's really one of my preps that I really like. But communications are huge. Also, don't forget the weather radios, being able to know what's going on. If the towers go down, at least you can maybe hear what the forecast is and whether you need to keep preparing or evacuate or whatever the case might be. Those are huge things to have as far as the communications go. Also, the little two-way radios. Sometimes maybe you've got a neighbor that you communicate with on a regular basis. Maybe they have one of the radios and you have the other, and you guys communicate, check on each other. If the weather's that bad and you can't leave the house, etc., something might happen. You might need to call somebody. Maybe the cell phones are down. At least you've got a way to communicate with somebody and get help if you need to. But anyway, so power outages are huge, and I think it's a real deal down here for this weekend and this coming week. We've just never seen cold like this, and it's going to get worse the further south it goes. People are going to experience things down there that they never have experienced as far as ice and snow, I think. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend wherever you're at. Be safe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Keep prepping. Stack it deep. Long live the Republic.